turns out that I cannot be in the same room with a box of Honey Nut Cheerios. There's this box sitting right down there. I just keep eating it. Like, literally, so far, I have, like, rolled up the plastic. I have pushed the box away. I've, like, set something on top of the box. And, like, 5 minutes later, I don't even know what I've done. And, like, the item has been removed from the top of the box. The box has been opened. The plastic has been, you know, I don't even know. I don't have any control. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. That's a problem. I have like a little stack in my hand. I'm just gonna keep eating them. It's okay. It's Wednesday. So, I want to talk about something today, and I'm not actually sure if I'm gonna be able to talk about it. So, this might be one of those videos that makes no sense. I want to talk about, I was thinking about this, about the contradiction. There are so many contradictions when it comes to writing, but the idea about writing professionally. Because you think about, like, what a writer does, and they are supposed to be these highly creative people. I can't remember if it's left brain that's logical and right brain that's creative, or vice versa, but they're supposed to be these, like, you know, the dreamers. And yet, in order to be a successful writer, I think that you have to be a technician as well as a creator. And I think that it's more interesting how it comes up not in the writing process, not just in the ability to, like, sit there and analyze your plot structure and your pacing and things like this, but in the actual journey to publication, because the daydreamer, that's, like, well and good, but the technician and the logic-minded person get so neurotic about things. Like, I get neurotic. I mean, it's no surprise at this point, if you've been watching the videos at all, that I'm a fairly neurotic person. But I get so stressed and obsessive about things, and instead of just, like, you know, pour it on the page, whatever, I freak out about, not just about the writing, but about the industry, about my presence online, about how much work I'm doing, about how little work I'm doing. I was having this conversation with my mom yesterday. By the way, this video has no point. I was having this conversation with my mom yesterday, and I basically said to her, like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. And that's not a specific, I feel like I'm not promoting enough, I feel like I'm not writing enough, I feel like I'm not, it's just like this general sensation that I have in my life constantly that I'm not doing enough. And literally every moment that I'm not working, every moment that I'm supposed to be daydreaming, supposed to be, I don't know, like, steeping, I get stressed. I start thinking I should be doing more, I should be doing more. And it's that, you know, the logic and the math and the science and the tech side of me that feels like I'm not being, the term I used was efficient enough. And my mom said that efficient isn't what you should strive for. You're in a creative industry. And I said, yeah, and we were talking about how it does come down, though, that, like, in order to be a writer, you have to have both sides, and that's great. You can't function without both sides. I believe that you cannot. I mean, every now and then somebody does it, but, like, to be a long-term writer, I think you have to be a technician as well as a creator. But you end up self-sabotaging yourself in other areas because the technician or the logic mind takes over and says, why are you staring at that wall? You're wasting time. Whereas the creative in you might be like, I'm percolating, you know, I'm letting myself be inspired. I feel like those two sides of myself are constantly at war. So I wonder if that's the case for anyone else, if you give yourself over to the creative process, or if you find yourself constantly fighting with the technician side of you, or the side that feels like you should be doing more, or you should be doing better, or you should be juggling, or you should somehow you're not measuring up. And I think that that sensation of not measuring up is one of those things that pushes me constantly to be better and to be stronger, but I think that half the time it ends up slowing me down because I stress, and stress is inherently not very productive. I think that, you know, like, it can be productive in the long term, but, like, in the short term, I think that it hinders us more than it helps us. So, wow, that was just a ramble post. In summation, Honey Nut Cheerios are evil. That's clearly all you should take away from this video. Also, on Monday, I'm going to be running this really, really, really awesome thing. So don't go anywhere.